When you were in the Vietnam War, what was your relationship like with the people who lived there?
The civilians.
I liked them. I liked the Vietnamese people. You know, they were very nice people, I thought. Very honorable. They were caught in a horrible situation, you know. It was a civil war. And civil wars never turn out well for anybody. I mean, it's brother fighting brother, and it's, you know, just, there was no clear-cut, that's part of the problem, there was no clear-cut lines or anything like that, and, you know, there's poor people in the villages, and you probably heard that from the person that visited you the other day. I mean, every day there'd be a different, you know, different group there, and
Yeah.
how you're supposed to, you know, who do you pledge your allegiance to, you know, when, oh, you're with those guys? No, I'm sorry, we're going to have to kill you. You know?
Yeah.
I mean, it was just very confusing. They got caught. Because, you know what, Vietnam is a beautiful place. It's a really beautiful country.
Mm-hmm. Do you have any advice or insight for millennial generation regarding the military or service?
You know, I think it is a valuable tool towards developing yourself as a person, and not necessarily. I mean, I think it's a decent career, but even if you just had a short term with it, I mean, it teaches you some very valuable lessons about discipline and honor. I mean, honor is a word I hardly ever hear anymore, and it's something that's really stressed in the military, and something I feel very strongly about. I never hear people. All I hear is winning is everything. You know, do whatever it takes to win. It's not a matter of your word is your bond or anything like that. You know, it's people feel that they can cheat one another. They just don't have that sense of honor, integrity. Yeah, and that's an important thing in the military, particularly if you're an officer. They really just drill it into it. So that, I mean, I think it's a good thing. It's what you make of it. Some people it damaged irreparably. Other people rose to the occasion. You know, it's like anything. It's what you make of it. You know, it's like, hey, what's it like going to college? Well, you know, some people are going to be digging ditches, and you know, some people will be CEOs.
Sure. So what do you think was the biggest lesson learned from the Vietnam conflict for the U.S.?
For the U.S.?
And for you?
Well, you know, I'd like to think there was a lesson learned, but based on our history in the last 50 years, I don't think there was any lesson learned at all. You know, the old saying is, if generals had to fight wars, you know, thered be peace all the time. Generals and politicians, because they create the problem and then they send the young guys out to fight the war. You know, and unfortunately, young guys are dumb as shit, you know, just like I was, and are only too happy to go do it. But they suffer the consequences. And, you know, there are some soaring moments of jubilation and pride and stuff that can come from those circumstances, but the other side of it can be, you can be in a very black place, really difficult. You know, you were asking before about good experiences and bad experiences. I mean, probably the best thing, personally, I felt I made a difference because I know that I've saved people's lives. There's nothing more gratifying than to go and land in some hot LZ and have a bunch of scared as hell grunts jump in, you know, some of them wounded and stuff, and pull them out of there. I knew they appreciated it, you know. Yeah. They were pretty happy about it. On the other hand, I mean, you know, I even hesitate to do this because it's nightmarish, but one of the lasting memories I have of Vietnam is I was flying and my co-pilot got shot, and I took him to the evacuation hospital, you know, and dropped him off. And I went back to visit him the next day, and it was a general hospital, you know. I mean, it wasn't just GIs there were civilians there and stuff like that. And there was a baby there that a nurse was holding that had been caught in a napalm strike. And the baby didn't have a face. just had a mouth. I can't get that image out of my mind. It's like, what is this? How is this person going to live? You know, what's their life going to be like? And why? They don't even know why. They don't have a clue. And there's a lot of victims like that, a lot of people that come through a war that even sometimes maybe it's not the physical scars that you have, but the mental ones. You know, it's what PTSD is. So yeah, it can, you know, it's a huge undertaking. I'm sure you've heard your dad say the same thing. I wouldn't trade my experiences for anything in the world, but I don't think I'd want to go and do them over again.
Yeah. So do you regret anything? Or would you have done anything different?
I don't think I would have. You know, I got out of there in one piece. I felt that I did some good. I know I saved lives. I know I took lives. I was a soldier. That's what I was doing.
Yeah.
That was what my job was. No, I don't think I would have changed anything.